thoughts. I got my water. I got my second screen. Everything is set up. I just need to make sure that I am doing well on my stream. And it is there it is. Hello. It looks like. Mm-hmm. Hello. Audio check 1, 2. Yep, it looks like I'm good. One more thing I need to check, and we'll be starting soon. Mm-hmm. Everything looks great. Okay. All right. Okay. That's really all I wanted to see. Yep, we got my chat on the side. I'm here, I'm live, and I want to say thank you for coming here. All right, it is 6 a.m. somewhere. Come. Okay, it is 5 a.m. It is very early in the morning. For those of you in the East Coast, that is 8 a.m. So if you're just heading to work, hello, thank you for tuning in. In case you're wondering where are the graphics, this show is intentionally designed so they could be just listened to instead of just looking at. Although honestly, if you want to look at my beautiful face, I really appreciate it. Welcome to Fridays at Chiru's. I am Chiru, and it's Friday. Today, before we begin with the topic I want to talk about, I want to give a little update. This update is 2 parts. Part 1 will be about what I'm doing and how things are gonna shape for the immediate future. This I do every week, kind of like a catching up to do. Small little updates, so I don't have update videos. I just do updates at the beginning of Fridays with Cheetos. And if you want to talk about, and if you want to, check out how I'm doing, just come in, check the first few minutes of Fridays with Cheetos every Friday, and it's like, okay, this is what I'm doing. Okay, first of all, I've been streaming Tears of the Kingdom, and I will talk more about Tears of the Kingdom soon. We will still be streaming it, but I will sprinkle in some other games here and there. I want to finish Banjo-Kazooie Gigas of Time, because I find that game to be very fun, and I want to finish it on stream. So that's going to happen. Secondly, I want to bring back another... I'm going to make a list of games that I have in the backlog. Obviously, I have backlog tryouts, but when I'm talking about the backlog, I mean games I started on stream but haven't finished. Maneater is one of those. I will definitely want to finish Maneater on stream. So there's that. Also, I am on the planning stages. There's nothing concrete, but I am in the planning stages of, you see how I stream on YouTube and Twitch? I am planning on opening I'm trying to skirt around the worst, because I don't want YouTube to wanna demonetize me for saying this, even though I don't even make money off of making videos on YouTube just yet. I want to open a third area where I can stream certain types of games that cannot be streamed on YouTube or Twitch. If you catch my drift. Details will come soon if it is indeed a thing that I end up doing. So keep a lookout on my socials on VTubers.me and on Twitter when that is going to happen. I don't plan to stream there a whole lot, probably once a month. But if you do, I promise you, if considering the website I'm thinking, there is something called a tier subscriptions to me. So what I'll do is I'll make sure that if you want to watch my VODs, I'll put them in the I put the lowest possible paywall I can. If I can do it at $1, if I can do it at 50 cents, that'd be fantastic. But all live streams will be free. So everybody who wants to join me and watch me play some stuff, it will be fantastic. If you know what website I'm talking about, then great. I'm not saying it here on YouTube. Just look for my socials. And one more update. You'll notice that even though I said I was going to stream all week, I did not stream for long or as long as I want or for the days I want. There's a very important reason for that, and I have said that in other streams. I am experiencing severe pain in my tailbone. This is something that's been happening for a while now. This is not something new for me. But it's gotten to the point where it's affecting my ability to even sit. Remember that time when I did a 9-hour stream finishing The Greatest Attorney? My bot did not like me after that. I'm having severe tailbone issues right now, and for me to stream for more than an hour, it takes dedication, effort, and complete foolhardiness. I will do my best to continue streaming. I am going to see a doctor and see what they can do to help me out here. But the point is, until there is a more durable remedy to help me out with my tailbone, streams unfortunately will be limited in time and scope. I wanted to stream Tears of the Kingdom for a long time. And, like, Tuesday was going to be the day where I streamed it for like 5 hours. Explore everything. Find probably like a story-related quest. Something like that. That did not happen. I streamed for 2 hours and I did shrines. There's something very important about, keep maintaining your health. But yeah. Right now, I purchased one of those pillows that allows your area, the immediate area around your tailbone to not have as much pressure as the rest of your body, the rest of your lower back. It's working, but I have to change chairs because my regular gamer chair really is not helping me out on this one. Like, I'm using it and my gamer chair is still saying, nope, you're gonna have as much pain as humanly possible. So right now, for streaming, I just took a standard pliable chair, and that's where I'm sitting at right now. And I'm still in pain, but way less pain than how I was before. So this is working, but I still need to see the doctor. Well, with that kind of news out of the way, let's talk about what you guys all came here for. Give me a second. Just gotta take a little bit of my wake up juice. Let's talk Zelda. Because even though I haven't streamed Zelda Tears of the Kingdom a lot on stream, I have been playing it off stream. Just not as much as I want to be, because I don't want to stumble into story sequences that I won't be able to like put on stream. So what are my thoughts on the game as I started? I gotta say, this game is absolutely incredible. The more I think about it, the more stuff that I feel like I can do in this game, the more overwhelming it feels to play this game. It feels like, and that's in a good way, because some people were comparing this game to Breath of the Wild and saying, yeah, Breath of the Wild feels like a tech demo, even though Breath of the Wild was huge. Breath of the Wild was massive. Like, this huge overworld with lots of things to do, enemies to fight, items to find, like story to do, all this freedom you had in Breath of the Wild. And yet, that is about a fraction of what Tears of the Kingdom can give you. Because with Tears of the Kingdom, you don't only have the main overworld, you have the skies, and you have the depths. You have two new major areas to explore. And then you have proper dungeons and the shrines and all sorts of stuff. All that packaged in one neat bow for a brand new story in Zelda. It's kind of weird to think about it, because how will it feel if when I finish Tears of the Kingdom and then I go back to Breath of the Wild? Because one thing you have to get is that no Zelda sequel, and by sequel I mean direct sequel, direct or indirect, actually, has invalidated a previous Zelda game. Majora's Mask, or more directly Twilight Princess. Those games did not invalidate Ocarina of Time. A Link Between Worlds did not invalidate A Link to the Past. And yet, Tears of the Kingdom, because of the fact that the main world is basically the same world from Breath of the Wild. It's the same Link. It has the same moves. Some abilities are different. But a lot of the stuff that you do in this world is the same as doing the previous world. And yes, there's a lot more. It feels like Tears of the Kingdom is the first Zelda game that maybe replaces Breath of the Wild. Like, there are some unique things about Breath of the Wild that will never be replaced. Hello, Revali's Gale. We miss you. We love you. I mean, Revali is an asshole, but Revali's Gale was always a cool move. But yeah, in the overall exploration area, it feels as though Breath of the Wild has been upstaged. And going back to Breath of the Wild is going to be a little bit hard. Thinking about, wait, I cannot do this? Or there is nothing more other than this overworld? It's going to feel like that. Because the more I think about Tears of the Kingdom and the worlds up in the air and down on the ground, all the cave systems, and oh my gosh, the cave systems. I adore finding caves in Tears of the Kingdom, because I know it's going to be like, oh, here's some enemies, here's some loot, and here's that giant blue thing that you have to bring down so you can get one of these pieces that I still don't know what they do. My gosh, I will get lost in Tears of the Kingdom for months and love it. I gotta say, if this is what it feels to play Skyrim, I'm missing out. I am missing out for not playing Skyrim. Yes, I am one of those people that Bethesda is aiming at when they launched the 500th version of Skyrim. I have not played the game at all. Well, no. I lie. I've played the prologue up until the dragon comes, ravages the town, and I leave. That's about as much of Skyrim as I played. After that, I've not played a lot of Skyrim. But there's that. That's about as much as I can give you that I've played. But yeah, it's just amazing to think about all the combinations I can do. I've tried to do so many stupid things with you know, fusing some things. Like I fuse a fan on a sword and like see what happens when I do that to an enemy. I've also used, oh my gosh, the Ultra Hand. I just like the fact that it's called the Ultra Hand. Oh my gosh, like they could have come up with other names for it. I'm pretty sure. Something that feels more regal and stuff, but calling it Ultra Hand. My guy, we love you. If you don't know, in case you don't know, Ultra Hand is the name of a toy that Nintendo themselves made back in the, was it 70s or 60s? Oh my gosh, okay, here I go. Google Fu, help me out. Ultra Hand toy. The Ultra Hand is a toy that was manufactured by Nintendo in the late 60s. It was created in 1966 by Gunpei Yokoi. So in the 60s, Nintendo was still, obviously video games was still not there. So Nintendo was making toys, and the Ultra Hand was one of those toys. And it was made by one Gunpei Yokoi. If you know who Gunpei Yokoi is, he's the person that also made the Game Boy. And the van was one of the main heads behind the Metroid franchise, Metroid and Kid Icarus. So in a sense, calling this ability the Ultra Hand is kind of a nod to the late Gunpei Yokoi, and I appreciate that, because one thing that a lot of people don't get with Gunpei Yokoi and Nintendo is that Gunpei didn't leave Nintendo in shame, nor did he leave, nor was he ousted or fired or anything like that. Yokoi, okay, a bit of story, because obviously, you know, I want to talk about whatever I want to here. Gunpei Yokoi, he was already thinking of retiring when the idea of the Virtual Boy jumped on his lap. Well, retiring, more like leaving Nintendo itself. I think he was like thinking about going to someplace else, but he was already thinking about it. Like there was no bad blood between him and Nintendo higher ups. He was just, you know, I'm done here. I want to go someplace else. So he makes the Virtual Boy as his last hurrah. Like, this is my last thing. I leave you with this, and then gone. Bye. Turns out the Virtual Boy wasn't so much of a success. So Gunpei decided, okay, you know what? I'm going to hold off. I'm going to stay here for a little bit more. I'm going to leave you with what's actually my last hurrah. And then I'm going to leave. And that's how we get the Game Boy Pocket. Was it the Game Boy Pocket? Oh gosh. Alright. I want to say it was the Game Boy Pocket. Game Boy Pocket. I'm trying to... Oh god, come on. Game Boy Pocket. Yeah, it was released in 96, so that makes a... Let me see. Game Boy Light was 96. Let's see. Yeah, it was 96. Yeah, so it was a Game Boy Pocket. Because the Game Boy Light was 98. And by that time, Gunpei Yokoi had already left. So, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. Gunpei saw that Virtual Boy was not a success. He decided, I don't want to leave Nintendo on a low note. So he made the Game Boy Pocket. And with that, by the way, if you ever had a Game Boy Pocket, you realize how small and sleek it is. It's amazing how small they made it considering how chunky the original Game Boy was. But yeah, he made the Game Boy Pocket and then he peaced out on a high note at Nintendo. So if you ever think about, oh, Gunpei Yokoi left in disgrace because of the Virtual Boy, no. He could have, but he didn't. He left on a high note by creating the Game Boy Pocket, the first was it the first major revision? Yeah, I would say it was the first major revision for the Game Boy. Because then you have the Game Boy Light, which is 98, and the Game Boy Color, which was also 98. Huh. Ah. But what were we talking about? We were talking about Zelda. We're talking about the abilities. I gotta say, of all the abilities, I feel as the other two, first of all, Ascend is the one that I feel that I use the least. Probably because it's very situational. You have to have something on top of you to use it, some sort of ground. Sometimes and not it doesn't work always. Like sometimes the ground on top just doesn't like gel with what you want to do. So yeah. Also, I noticed there's an upper limit on how much you can, on how far low you can be, how much distance there can be between you and the ceiling above you for the ability to work. I wish there wasn't that big a limit, but there is, and it sucks sometimes. What else was I thinking? What else was I trying to say? Oh yeah, the recall ability. The recall ability is one of those that it's gonna take me a bit to figure out how to work with. Like, I've already used it for certain enemies. I've used it for some likes. I've used it for some of those like horribleans, I think it's called. That it just chuck rocks at you. Otherwise, it's, I don't know, it's also kind of situational. Like, obviously, Ultra Hand is the big ability for the game. So, I like the new abilities. I'm still, like, finding myself missing the abilities, like, you know, Regalia Skill, bombs, like, unlimited bombs. Oh my gosh, I love the fact that you could have unlimited bombs in Breath of the Wild. Now you have bomb flowers. Please don't, please, okay, Nintendo, if you're hearing this, I'm telling you this right now. Please don't patch out the item duplication glitch. It's already hard enough to pull off as it is, but it helps me in a pinch. Thank you, Nintendo. Oh my gosh. I remember I spent like 2 hours doing the item duplication glitch, and one very important thing about the item duplication glitch. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. I should like do it on the beginning of a stream. Maybe I'll stream tomorrow and I'll do the item duplication glitch. One very important thing about it is that it's, how do I say this? I like it a lot. It's kind of difficult to pull off because the timing is very tricky. What you need to do, and I've got it down to a science, is you need 2 bows and you need at least 1 arrow. You need at least 2 bows, 1 arrow, and then you need whichever item you want to duplicate that can be affixed to an arrow. So you take out the bow, but you don't aim it. Then you press up and then select the item you want to duplicate. Let's say bombs, because maybe you don't find enough bombs in the world. You put a bomb. Then you go to the menu, you drop the item. Yeah, you press pause. Go to the menu, find the bow, you drop it, you grab another bow, and then this is the tricky part. You need to unpause and pause the game again, like within like a frame or 2. If you do it properly, then at this stage you drop the second bow, and then once you unpause, you can see that now instead of having, say, 1 bomb, you have 2 bombs. If it all works correctly. I can't seem to find the timing in it because sometimes I swear up and down the street that I'm pressing this, I'm unpausing and pausing like perfectly, and it still doesn't work. And yes, you can use it to like get rubies, a lot of rubies, and sell those for rupees and have lots of money, so you don't have to worry about money troubles anymore. I've not done that. What are you talking about? You know, the graphics don't bother me on Tears of the Kingdom. I know a lot of people were saying, "Oh my gosh, this game is 720p. It looks awful. It looks horrible. I'm gonna play this on my PC so I can play it at 4K 60." And I'm like, first of all, if you're gonna play it on your PC, at least buy the damn game. Piracy ain't cool, kids. I mean, what I'm saying is, pirating current available software, it's frowned upon, and I don't support it, especially when it comes to indie games. Like, if you're gonna emulate old games that you can't buy anymore, hey, I want to play the original version of A Boy and His Blob, the one on the NES, David Crane's A Boy and His Blob, but I can't buy that anymore. You know what? Go for it. Or I want to play Mischief Makers on N64, but they haven't. But neither Nintendo, Enix, or Treasure, no company has reissued Mischief Makers anywhere. You know what? Who's gonna stop you? But will you tell me I'm gonna pirate Pikmin 4 when it comes out because I'm gonna stick it to Nintendo? Or Minute the Hollowware, when it comes out, I'm gonna pirate it because screw Yacht Club games, am I right? No, I do not support that. I do not support that, mainly because, you know, why? Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to mess with, you know, the hard work of people who, you know, need food on the table? Especially, once again, indie games. And I'm saying all this because a lot of people justify their piracy by saying Tears of the Kingdom doesn't look all that well because it's running on the Switch, and the Switch is not as powerful as a PlayStation 5, which, by the way, how could it be? How could it be? The Switch wasn't as powerful as the PS4 when the console came out on 2017. And as nifty as the Switch OLED is, I have one right beside me. The system itself, no, I know it's not as powerful. And here's the thing: if you're a well-informed game player, you should know the Switch is not as powerful as the PlayStation or Xbox offerings right now. If you buy a Nintendo Switch thinking, "Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see the graphics in this game," I have news for you. You probably are uninformed, at the very least. But yeah, the graphics don't bother me. Like, I do have some things to help the graphics along. In case you haven't noticed, I do have an M cable. You know, the same people that make the M Classic. And it does help a little bit with Nintendo Switch graphics, mainly because Nintendo games habitually do not have anti-aliasing implemented. So this helps, you know, putting some anti-aliasing onto the image, and gives me basically zero lag. I don't think it was worth the what is it, $115 to buy this cable. I think this sort of stuff could have been done for cheaper, maybe $70. I mean, to think that I had to buy the shortest cable just to get the cheapest price is absolutely insane. But yeah, I do have things to help the game along, but I don't care that this game could potentially be done on a PlayStation 3 with a lot of issues, because the PlayStation 3 doesn't have nearly the amount of RAM the Nintendo Switch has, for example. But yeah, I understand that the graphics of this game are nowhere near as much as the graphics on a potentially PlayStation 4 game. Like, comparing this in terms of graphics to God of War is, wow, it's insane. Or to put it into perspective, Horizon Zero Dawn, which is also an open world game. You play Horizon Zero Dawn versus Tears of the Kingdom, you realize that, yeah, which game has the better graphics? But the thing is, I don't care about it. It looks good enough. For me, in terms of graphics, and I'm planning on making a video about this, about graphics. Okay, the most important thing about graphics is that everything that needs to be conveyed to the player can be done so in a clear manner. Like, what do they need to see? And can they see it clearly? If the answer to the second question is yes, then I feel you've done your job and making the clears good enough, making the graphics good enough. So I don't mind the graphics in Tears of the Kingdom. I think they're great. I think the resolution could use a bit of a helping hand. Frame rate is kind of choppy, but then again, I do understand this is an aging Nintendo Switch hardware. The game is pushing the Switch to its limits, and you know, it's an open world game where things could be a little bit unpredictable. But for the most part, I think it provides a stable image. But it's how much fun I'm having with the game, and it's loads of fun. Every time I turn on the game, I have to rip myself out because one, I don't want to get into a story section that I want to showcase on stream. And second, I want to, I need to do IRL stuff, so I can't be playing this game for long. So I guess that's the glowing recommendation. Oh, what about music? What about music? It's okay. It's about the same as it was in Breath of the Wild. Like those dulcet, lo-fi, like piano tunes with some extra music for the encounters and other stuff. It does feel like there's some more like different music, which I like. The shrines have new music, which is good. But overall the music is, if you didn't like, if you didn't like how the music went in Breath of the Wild, you're probably not gonna like how it goes here, except for certain moments which might feel a bit more grand. Otherwise, I think that encompasses pretty much Tears of the Kingdom right now. If you liked Breath of the Wild, you're gonna love this. If you didn't like Breath of the Wild, there might be something in Tears of the Kingdom that could hook you back in, but it's mostly the same. It's the same but better. I will say this, it's the same but better. There's a lot more to figure out. There's a lot more to understand. A lot of more things make sense. You know, a lot of more game things make sense. Like now resources make sense to collect because they're actually resources. You can use them for a lot of stuff. The new abilities are so much fun. The new things are so much greater. But if you didn't like Breath of the Wild, come in with caution because this still might not be the game for you. Just letting you know. I personally, considering I haven't even gotten too far into the story, I give it a glowing recommendation just for the exploration alone. But I personally think, if you don't like, it's not like Nintendo's hurting for money. That's another thing I want to talk about Tears of the Kingdom. I didn't mention this publicly, but up until the release of Tears of the Kingdom, I thought Nintendo's gonna bankroll this game. It's gonna be really good. It's gonna make a lot of money. It's probably gonna sell like 5 million units in 1 week, with about 6 to 7 if they really good at it. Yeah, it turns out Tears of the Kingdom already sold 10 million in 3 days. 3 days! 3 days to sell 10 million units. What the actual hell? In perspective, in 3 days, Tears of the Kingdom has outsold every singular Zelda release that is not called Breath of the Wild. And I mean outsold. Like, the third best-selling game right now, with Tears of the Kingdom here, the third best-selling game would be Twilight Princess, and that one has like almost 9 million units sold, and that was in 2006. Wow. Like, it is insane how much this game is selling. Because, and this is another topic that I wanted to make for another video, Zelda games don't typically sell too well. Like, don't misunderstand me. The Zelda series habitually, before Breath of the Wild, the Zelda series habitually sold around the 2 million mark. 2 to 4 million, with some games breaking over the 6 million mark. There are developers out there that would kill to have their games sell 2 million. But the Zelda series was once thought to be on life support because of those low sales. And now look at it now. Like, I understand the enormous pressure the development team must feel when they see those numbers. On one part, they're celebrating, oh my gosh, 10 million in 3 days, yes. On the other, they're thinking, oh my gosh, the next game that we release in like 4 or 5 years from now, it's gotta be even bigger or grander than this for it to keep selling 10 million units. And I have to say, on one hand, yes, because I'm loving everything that Tears of the Kingdom has. On the other, I'm okay with Nintendo creating new, more traditional Zeldas that don't take as much time to develop. Like, give me, take Link's Awakening, the Link's Awakening remake. Take that blueprint. Don't give me the same graphics. Give me that blueprint and develop something like that. Like, make top-down Zeldas again. The last one we had, the last brand new top-down Zelda we had was A Link Between Worlds, and that's almost 10 years old. I want a new top-down Zelda. And no, I'm not counting Triforce Heroes. No way. Oh boy. I vowed myself to finish every Zelda game. I'm still struggling to finish Triforce Heroes, but I will. Sometime, eventually. Oh boy. I want to do one final thing. Because Tears of the Kingdom is a great Zelda. And it's actually also an accessible Zelda because it allows you to just jump in and play along. And it tutorializes you very well. It tells you this is what you need to do and this is what you can do in certain things. And then it just leaves you to your own devices at some point. How about what is a good beginner Zelda? Well, considering the options available on Nintendo Switch, just Nintendo Switch alone, just Nintendo Switch, because you have NSO and you have the games released on actual boxes, actual games, actual physical games. I see a good beginner Zelda is the Minish Cap. The Minish Cap is easy enough. It's not too challenging, as I'm saying. It definitely has a lot of that Zelda inventiveness. And the storyline will not clash with other storylines. So it's a good storyline. It's just, it's pretty self-contained. That's what it is. I'm mostly picking it up because it's easy to play. And it's not too challenging. Like, you can make self-imposed challenge, like a 3-heart run or something like that. But it's fun. It's fun. It's very inviting and doesn't get really challenging up until the end. Another one would be A Link to the Past is challenging, but it's also a good beginner Zelda in my opinion. I'm trying to think. It's just from the options available. Ocarina of Time could be it, but it was my first Zelda. Ocarina of Time was my first Zelda, so there is possibility there. I'm just gonna say it. Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild is definitely a good beginner Zelda. It's hard, it's challenging, but it gives you the options and the tools to make it easier for yourself. You just have to, know what you're doing. Tears of the Kingdom, I'm not so sure yet if it's a good beginner Zelda. I feel it's either as hard or a bit harder than Tears of the Breath of the Wild. So that might like slow it down. I'm pretty sure Tears of the Kingdom is somebody's first Zelda. And you know what? More power to you. Enjoy. Of course, I do wonder about those people that have never played a Zelda game in their lives, pick up Tears of the Kingdom and wonder what the hell's an imprisoned war, when us older Zelda folk have been talking about the imprisoned war since at least 1991. Well, not at least, since at least 1998. Sorry. Well, guys, I think that's about as much as I can talk about Tears of the Kingdom right now with you guys. I just gotta say, game is fantastic. Go play it. It's sold around 10 million units already. It's probably on its way to selling 20 million. Since the explosive 10 million in 3 days, I'm pretty sure this game is gonna sell 20 million by the end of the year. By the end of the calendar year 2023, Tears of the Kingdom will be within spitting distance of surpassing Breath of the Wild in sales. 20 million by the end of 2023. We'll see how those numbers fare. I do wonder what's next for Zelda after this. Like I said, I want a top-down Zelda in the same vein as A Link Between Worlds. Please, Nintendo, make that happen. But I fear that the next Zelda game we see is going to be another remaster or remake. If they do that, I do have thoughts about which game should be next on the list. First of all, I'm pretty sure Nintendo's skipping Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD, Wind Waker HD, Twilight Princess HD, Closing the Vest, to release maybe alongside the new the new console, because there's no point in like putting them on the Switch anymore. I don't think there's any point. Because if we're gonna get the new console next year, there's no point. Just put it on the new console. Give me a second. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Okay, but other than porting those two games over, the new remake or remaster that they should do is Oracle of Seasons and Oracle of Ages. Have them the same top-down perspective, have the same not art style, but the same design philosophy as the Link's Awakening remake. Take that, make sure the graphics are better, because I'm sorry, the toy aesthetic of Link's Awakening remake is kind of off-putting for me. I would rather have them look more like standard fantasy setting. I definitely would prefer it look more like A Link Between Worlds than whatever Link's Awakening was looking like. So that, and what was I thinking? Oracle Seasons, Oracle of Ages should be the next remakes, in my humble opinion. Hopefully they do that. And obviously, because it's two games, that's gonna be kind of a big thing. Maybe they can package them both in one card. I would buy that. As it stands, the next full Zelda game after this, I do not expect it in about 5 years. I do not expect the next Zelda game to come out until the next brand new Zelda game, unless they do a lower what do we call it? A lower budget, still high effort, but lower budget top-down game, the one that I want. That one, if they're making it, I would suspect it'll come out in the next 2 to 3 years. But the next big budget game that is supposed to follow up on Tears of the Kingdom, not until the next 5 years at least. So guys, see you in 2028 when the new Zelda game comes out. Until then, I hope you guys have a wonderful, fantastic day. Thank you for being here on this Friday morning. See you guys later. Bye.